This is the Over reaction show to Barnsley's 3-3 FA Cup draw with Horsham. Not a result we were expecting, but we'll dissect it and we'll get into it in a second. So, Al, a 3-3 draw with a side from the 7th tier, the Isthmian
Premier, Isthmian League, isn't it? The Lardy Army went home pretty happy, didn't they? On Friday night, Barnsley fans were unhappy, to be honest. We didn't turn up. Jordan Williams, for me, had his worst game ever I've seen. Herbie Kane and Callum Styles in midfield were, I thought they were coasting in game. Didn't really put much into it. Went 1-0 up with Matt Swatters and thought, we're going to coast this. It's going to be easy. And then all of a sudden, they come back. Luke's ball, didn't he? Jordan Williams and put it across, and a good finish by them, to be honest. Straight into top right-hand corner, and you're thinking, this is going to be another Barra. It could be another 5-4. Then they got penalty. I thought it wasn't a penalty. Sat in lower stand, east stand, but then when I watched it back, I think he did catch him. So went 2-1 up. And Jallo, what a goal by Jallo. Unreal talent, isn't he? A lot more to come from young lad. He had a good game, but they tried to stop him. They ensured that he went off injured, to be honest. Dom said to us that they don't know how to fall down or to get fouls, but they do. They do on Friday night. They do know the dark arts. And then, 2 apiece at half time. Come out second half thinking, come on, we're back in this one. So 45 minutes to win it. Went in front. Header. I thought it was wrong goal, but they said it was MDG. And
well done, Al.
You like that one? I'd come in there.
Impressed with that, Al.
I got him well there. And then you're thinking, we're going through into second round and in draw. And it coasting. But then again, the beat offside trap and thoroughly deserved the equaliser. Our players were arguing with referee and linesman saying he was offside. It's hard to see. Everybody says he was offside. But credit to him. Dominic De Paolo and the team, they've got a replay back at their ground. I think it's going to be Tuesday, 14th November, and put the Bradford game back to 21st. So let's see what happens. But no, not the best of Barnsley. I'll put it that way. But we're still in the draw.
Yeah, there's still chances to go through, Andy, given that we have to play away now. But as much as we didn't, defensively, there's much to be desired. It's not like we were struggling for chances. I think their keeper made a quadruple save at one point, keeping out and kept out Jallo from a point blank. And as Dre said, just about everybody who were inside their half had a shot, and so it didn't go in.
Alan's gone through all the goals, so there's not really much, from that aspect for me to add. At the time, I didn't think it were a penalty, but I think he caught it. I think he might well have caught him, and we're miles away from it. So he gave it, and that's what matters. No matter what I think or not think, he gave it. I think he got the ball, but whether he got, I think he probably went through the player to get to the ball, and the equaliser at the end, whatever it were, about 9 minutes to go. There's all sorts. I thought from where I was that he were offside. That's what I thought, he were offside. But you look at stills, you look at the playback, can't tell. And among Barnsley fans on the fans forums, you can say someone saying, it was played on by Jordan Williams. It could have been played on by Jordan Williams. It could have been played on by Owen Dodgson or whoever it were on left side. Mm-hmm. So it could have been played on by 2 people. Bottom line again is the referee and linesman went up to play, but they played on and they scored. He was on his own, whether he's played on by left back, right back, he were on his own, and that were a feature. The first goal, they were on their own, so our defending, when they went forward, our defending was shockingly poor. And, we've had a pretty decent defence, but they were I think they do know, don't they, that they're supposed to mark players. They don't just stand there and I think we started well. I think we passed it about all right, and we looked, in lovely triangles, and we passed it and looked nice and neat. Again, we struggled to get corners over, not corners, to get crosses over, and we're continuing to get it out wide and cross it. We got a few in, but we got a few that we didn't get in that were quite poor. But all in all, we defended really poorly. Well, my telly's on.
We can't see it.
Oh, can you hear it? Oh, okay.
Pardon?
Bloody cats have just switched me telly on. They're only 5 months. Anyway, but we can't take anything away at all. We couldn't attack. We had, I don't know how many chances. Smith, you let stats. However many times we had shots. But we looked pedestrian in field. We passed ourselves into lethargy. Kept just passing it in front of them, and the Lerrers, and I don't blame them because that's how to players. Lerrers play in front of them. Then the only way we seemed to want to get through is to put it out wide and get them in, and we weren't good enough with the crosses. So that were a bit disappointing. But don't take anything at all away from Horsham. They came with a game plan, as Dominic had said on the away end show. They'd done his homework, and they did. They defended really, really well. They wanted it. They got blocks in. They broke like we thought they would. They broke with real purpose, and that were really, really good. That were really good to see. Really.
And he did tell us, Andy, about Lewis Carey, their keeper, that he thought that he were league level, didn't he? Told us about Carey, that he thought he was a good keeper, and he proved it Friday night. And
as Josh said, he was making some really good saves throughout, and not long before the equal, a quadruple save. I mean, we praise goalkeepers when they make double saves. They make a save, get up and make another one. You think, wow, look at that. And then all of a sudden, he's making 4, and it's like we're just having pop shots in, and he saved everything. So they did everything we didn't do. They weren't lethargic. When they broke at purpose, and we let them. And wow, three goals, and much as they defended, they had to put them in, and they did. I was really, really impressed with the way that they approached the game. So well done to them, and well deserving.
What worries me, Andy, is another 3 goals conceded at Oakwell this season in a short period of time. That's worrying for me.
Well, we had Fred Carno in our defence, along with Charlie Caroli. I'll explain later, Josh. But they were clowns, Josh. Yeah. Clowns and ancient comedics, slapstick. So I used to have to explain this to Joe. I'll not explain it again, Joe. But yeah, they defended everywhere that we didn't, and I don't know if that's we approached it. We approached it well enough. Like I say, passed ourselves into lethargy. The good points, I did think we started well. That was one good point. The other good point was Jallo. He was, 17-year-old, and he's players like that. He put rest to shame for a lot of the match until he went off. Had a few chances to shoot, good saves from goalkeeper, good blocks, and scored an absolute stunning goal. 17, and he's showing the way about how to actually shoot. That's something else. And then of course Luke O'Connell coming on. That was that was really, really good to see. I really, really like their number 10, and I don't want to disrespect anybody, but by not being able to say Daniel
Alakayi,
I think, but I think it's Alakayi. I think
it's spelled AJ. I know it's spelled AJ, but I don't know if you pronounce the J or not. Yeah,
Daniel A. DA. It's all the easiest, isn't it? DA. Number 10. Yeah, but I want him to try and get his name rather than it makes out as though we're not, because it's it's 7th tier. We don't need to know the names.
But we struggle with his own centre half's name.
Adjikaji. I'm sure they pronounce it Adjikaji.
Well, we'll call him Adji then.
Adjikayi.
I don't care what I call him.
I'll say it. I've got it in front of me. Adjikayi.
I don't trust Alan's pronunciations. He struggles with number 6, our centre back,
MDG.
every single week.
That's why I'm glad he says MDG. Yeah, and as Alan said, goalkeeper Carey. outstanding. I also like all of them, but Jack Strange were really strong in defence, and the nullified us. And yet again, the crosses that we could not put in. We got a couple of good crosses in, and the first goal came from a decent cross. But oh dear, oh dear, oh dear, they were everything that we weren't. As the game went on. So really, really chuffed for them. And apart from hotels, I'm glad that they've got a replay, because their fans will actually be able to go and watch them rather than thinking that they can watch it. No, they can hear it on the radio, and that's all. A big game from it. First round of the FA Cup. No, so for that, I'm really, really glad for them.
And you're on about stats, Sandy. We had 26 shots to their 4, and they scored 3, and we scored 3 out of 26. What we had, finishing were atrocious at times, wasn't it?
But for me, that's a pattern now. That like we said this about Fleetwood last week, and that's what concerns me more than the result of this. It's that we did the same against Fleetwood. We had how many shots compared to theirs, and the finishing has got to be better. I know their keeper were amazing. He were amazing, you've said, but I think we've got to be better in front of goal. We have to be. We can't create and have 26 shots and only score 3. And yeah, they were great, but let's be honest, they're 5 divisions below us. Right, it's got to be better with the team, with the players we had on that pitch. Other than Jello, who I thought played really well, we've got to be better than that in front of goal.
I think a lot of it is it's the beauty of the FA Cup, isn't it? Like, this is what, like, if they weren't playing against us, you'd be like, oh, that's a great result. Like, it's a good result for the thing. And I think a bit of human nature creeps into it as well. Of they're professional players, it's their job. You just expect to turn up and win, which I think to a degree, if I were playing, I would. And for Horsham, it's the biggest game of their season at least. Well, up until this point, unless they go through to the next round and get a bigger side or get to the third round. So it's 2 complete opposite ends of the spectrum, I think, of they really want to win and go through, and we're just expecting to turn up and go and beat them, which is part and parcel of human nature. And I think with the conversion at the minute, I think we were the most clinical side in the league.
Yeah.
So Fleetwood. So I assume the clinical nature is still somewhat there. And I suppose the positive side is we're still creating. We're not going to come up against a keeper in the form of Lewis Carey every single week, which is good. And I think as well, you look at the step up which Jack Shepherd made this summer. Yeah, the X amount division below us, but not that much of a difference in terms of playing in it. It's not as far as what you do. And when you think of the non-league players we've had in the past, Angus McDonald, Mark Roberts, those who've come in, they've more or less done fairly all right in terms of the levels between sort of, especially League One and non-league. It's not that disparate from each other, I don't think.
Some of the things that you expect, because Barnsley, for example, like all league clubs, we train every day. We professionally train every day, so you expect them to be fit. But teams like Horsham and other non-league clubs, they train maybe twice a week in an evening. And you expect, or a lot of people expect, that as the match wears on, so let's say the last third of the game, the last half hour, last quarter of the game, they're going to tire, and that's where it's going to change. Well, when we spoke to Dom, he said, "We don't. We are a very fit side. We'll keep going. And they did. To the final whistle, they kept going. And let's be fair, we could have won it. They could have won it and all. It were that close. So, well drilled, well organised, really wanted it, and kept going from the first to the final whistle. And what more do you want? With no little skill at times in all that and all. No little skill. And at 3-3, every time they attacked, I kept thinking, please, I just got this vision that it's going to be, like we'd said, Al, it's going to be pumped into our penalty area, and 10 Horsham players are going to go down clutching the leg. Thinking, please don't do that. Please don't let it come true. Fortunately, we managed to scrape a draw, and I think it was scraping in the end. Yeah,
and it could be a televised replay. I think this one. It's all the makings of it, and to be on TV.
It'd be nice, that, wouldn't it? Because from a Barnsley fan's perspective, there's not going to be that many tickets available, and quite rightly, that there ain't going to be many. So it'd be nice from our point of view I'd sooner be able to watch it on television than what Horsham had to do on Friday, which we'll listen to it on the flipping radio instead of being able to come to such a big thing. But really pleased.
I think it'd be nice. It'd be good for them to get. They'll get some TV money for that, won't they, as well?
Yeah, all of it.
I reckon it'll be about 350 to 400. That we'll probably end up with.
Smithy started this show saying it's going to be on the Tuesday night, and the Bradford match is going to be canned, and it's going to be on telly. If Smithy says it's going to happen, it'll happen.
I don't have a ground share with Crawley as well.
That's their own ground, as far as I know.
Yeah,
I thought they had a ground share with Crawley sometimes for certain.
And they
games.
got knocked out yesterday as well, didn't they? They lost 3-2 at Notts County.
Yeah, but they'll definitely want to play at home, won't they? They'll definitely want to play on their pitch and in there.
It depends
on the slope of Bird as well, Tracy. On the Horsham slope.
Yeah. I think the thing I've seen since the game is that it looks like it's at their ground. So
it ought to be. It ought to be. I'd untold with this. So nearers have got a bigger capacity and all that. They've earned a home tie.
It's like another Enfield, isn't it? Another Enfield. They moved Enfield to Spurs, didn't they?
Well, I hope not for that. Well, it's not our decision, is it? It'll be down to Horsham and what matters. There's lots of things that matter in the finance as well as everything else. But I hope not. To be nice. It'd be nice for our, the few fans that are going to go to a new ground like Horsham and experience it, and it could do our players good. I think they could do a bit of bringing down to earth and not thinking it's easy.
Yeah.
Well, anyway, never mind. We're in the draw. The mighty Barnsley are in the draw.
Do you know what, though?
I don't know when draw is. I have no idea when draw is.
Today, I think. Is it today? I think it's tonight, this afternoon, after the afternoon's games, I think.
I thought you knew everything now.
I know it. We're probably number 3 in draw. I don't know. I have no idea. I have no idea his number now.
Do you know?
I'll get up blower.
Can I just say, though, the reaction from some of our fans suddenly asking for Collins as Ed is absolutely ridiculous. I just think, what planet are some of our fans on? I don't know how many actually saw the game, but I just think, we've discussed, and Al and Andy have described it perfectly. But they were great; they were up for it. We were complacent. But if Collins had come out and made out that we were amazing, I'd have been thinking. But to be fair to the guy, he came out and were very, very honest, brutally honest. Saying words like, "We were sloppy, we didn't do the basics well, we can't take chances, we gave up, we were complacent." He didn't sort of pull any punches there. He was very honest, and I think as soon as I listened to his sort of press conference afterwards and how he spoke to the media, I just think fair enough. Too
many odd off days, he said, Tracy, didn't he? And he were honest. He were honest.
Yeah, and clearly he didn't expect that to happen. He said they had a good week training. As far as he were concerned, the players' attitude was positive. He picked a strong side, and I just think. And then people are saying, the guy don't know what he's doing. And I just think we've got some very fickle, uneducated fans. That's going to upset some people, but I think it needed saying. I think they're out of order. I really do.
Can I just say that anybody that wants to write in about it, it was Tracy that said it.
Absolutely.
It is, but we're 15th league and we're still in cup. It were a poor performance, and they keep saying he ain't got plan B or C. And it was slow. We didn't have much of a tempo, but it's a cup match. It is what it is. We move on.
He needs sacking after that. Saying he needs sacking after that performance. It's just insane.
Oh, I agree, Tracy.
I think a lot of it boils down to the style of play of it being slow
compared to pedestrian.
From what we've had previous seasons, when we had Stendhal, where everything were a million miles an hour, Val, everything were a million miles an hour. Again, Struber slowed it down. Not unanimously like Val and Stendhal, even though he kept us up in a situation where we were struggling massively. Shop and Ashbaggy, less said the better.
No comment.
Duff, again, last season, everything was fast and intense, and I think it's just fans don't really gel with that with the slower style because it's not
the methodical
it's
style
not
of
as,
football. That's the
yeah,
one, isn't
it's
it?
not as thingy. But then there's so many factors I think that everyone just overlooks of the fact that, yeah, Michael Duff did well last season, but he also inherited a team that had played together cohesively for 2 or 3 years, and especially defensively. It got Jordan Williams, Mads, Liam Kitchen, and Brad Collins as a spine that have played together for 2-3 seasons, especially in that back three. And now you look at this season, yeah, we're poor defensively because we've got a brand new back line barring Cadden and Williams, who Cadden only joined last season. Everyone else in that back three, brand new to club. Goalkeeper, brand new to club. So there's gonna be a teething process of a year. It's going to take time for everyone to gel together, especially at the top of the league. When you look at Portsmouth, Bolton, etc., keep more or less a spine together from last season and have built on it, whereas ours got ripped out. We're not a Luca Connell as well. I think I've seen someone put on Twitter that there's about 3 players who played last season regularly, which is Herbie Kane, Jordan Williams, Nicky Cannon, and Devante as a 4 out of the 11 that are more or less consistently playing this season, which, yeah, it's going to be different. It's going to be new. It just needs patience and time. But I think there's no point reading Twitter because Twitter's very, very reactionary.
You've also got to remember, though, Josh, that however often it takes to gel, defenders are supposed to defend. You're not defending if you're not marking your man. Attackers, whoever they are to score, and we can't, as Alan said, 20 or 26 whatever shots, and we can't shoot. We've gone from being as clinical as they come to as sloppy as they come. And if you can't defend properly and mark players, you can't attack and score properly. Although we did get 3, let's be fair. At midfield, we seem to want to pass it about and get it out wide, and then at cross blocked. Either go along the floor and they just think thank you very much and clear it, or it gets blocked and no happens. And the best thing that comes from our crossing is that we get a corner from a block cross. It's not. We're not varying it. You can call it Plan B, Plan C. I don't even know what these plans are. It changed it a bit. It changed it, and we went 4-4-2. But with some of the changes, I thought, have we got a striker? 3-2 up. Have we got a striker on the pitch? I'm not sure who we're playing up front.
We ended up leaving McAtee up front, didn't we? We just had McAtee up front.
It seemed all a bit, defensively trying to shut it up, and then, just McAtee up front trying to defend it, and then we leave him on his own, and he's playing him onside. No, it's him that's playing it onside. Maybe they were both playing him onside. Maybe we're a mile offside. Who knows? But he were on his own, and that shouldn't happen. So, and it weren't the only time.
I think we've got issues on the right-hand side. I think you've alluded to it a couple of times now, Andy, in the last few shows that, the Jordan Williams situation moving to the right, because we've got real issues. Their goals, the first one, the gentleman whose name I'm not going back through that again. Anyway, the number 10, it was an awful pass from O'Keefe to start with. I don't know what he was doing. He sort of half-heartedly passed it back, sloppy, just poor. And then that caused them. He then ran round Jordan Williams and passed it, and we were all over. And then obviously the penalty was similar, and it seems the right-hand side is really hurting us defensively. I really liked O'Keefe. I thought he was great. First few games he played, then he got a couple of injuries, and he just doesn't seem to have come back into the team the same. We spoke about Cotter and his inconsistencies. I just think we're getting hurt a lot down the right-hand side, certainly defensively. And I think what you said about Williams, it is something that he's got to look at. He's got to look at for me. He's got to look at getting Williams back out there. I think it frees up the midfield as well, because they just seem to be more confident in him. And poor Shepherd, I do feel for that lad. I think he did so well, and he just doesn't seem to be getting a minute at the minute.
I do think, though, if we'd have kept Jallow on, I think we could have gone and won it personally. But that's by the by now, isn't it?
It is
he's the only one that really took his opportunity in terms of because it was like a half mixed side, wasn't it? In terms I think that was the thing that shocks most is that it was such a strong side in which we did put out. Like we could play that in a league game, kind of side. And I think that's what shocked everyone with the fact that we drew 3-3. And I think that's where frustration involved. It's not like we chucked, not like a Papa John's trophy game where.
Don't exist anymore, Josh. I'm sorry.
I don't want to speak.
I
don't want to speak.
It's the Papa
Horn
trophy. No, Josh. It's the Papa Horn trophy.
I don't want to speak about it because it's ruined my week. That has found out that Street Motors have bought the sponsorship to the greatest tournament of all time. But it's not like
during the season. Actually, during the season, what's going on with all that
outrageous behaviour? To be honest,
nonsense.
Yeah, I think. The reason for the reaction is because of such a strong side that we did put out. Yeah. It's not like went and chucked 6 under-18s in, a couple of under-21s, and then left 3 senior players in there. We went fairly strong and probably scored too early in a way as well. Because she scored that.
It certainly breeded the complacency that, didn't it?
Yeah, he probably just switched everyone off and been like, "Oh right, we've scored. It's just a matter of time now." I mean, on
never count your chickens.
We came back from 2-1 down.
We did.
Let's look at the positives there as well. That we managed to overturn a winning position to a losing position to a draw.
Luke Connell's a massive positive. I think we've got it was great to see him back on the pitch. He pushed up. He had a couple of good shots late on when Lewis Carey was turned into Gordon Banks. He were just. I thought Luca pushing up were great, and to see him dishing out orders again and just stepping back into it. Obviously, he's not fully fit, and he's got a way to come. But him and J-Lo were massively positives of that game, and it was just having him back on the pitch. I think is just great.
And a big standing applause for him as well, by all the fans. That were amazing. That was a highlight at night for me.
Yeah, it's nice to see him coming back.
Yeah. I'm personally glad glad that they've got a replay. I want our team to win. Obviously, I want Barnsley to win, like any fan would. But if we were going to draw and have to go to a replay, these are a decent club and a decent team that deserve to have a replay and get to watch their team, whether they go through or not, and they could easily go through. Maybe we'll shake up the complacency and finish it off. Maybe we'll not. Maybe they'll go for it again, and it'll be a repeat again. Let's play it about and let's not cross it. Let's do all that, and they reckon let's not mark them and let them get a couple of goals. Be sloppy in defence, be weak and sloppy up front, and let them come through us and win it. And if they do, we've only ourselves to blame. We'll have had 2 bites at it, and we still couldn't do it. And they could, because based on Friday night. They could easily beat us. I think me and Alan need to have a word with Dom about, it's all fair enough. Carey, he needs to give him a rest. He did so much work on replay. Give him a rest.
Their fans who couldn't get up now, they're going to see the Mighty Tykes. That's what it's all about. They want to see the Barnsley, don't they? They want to see the Barnsley. Tell them they want to see the Barnsley.
The Barnsley All-Stars.
I think that just about wraps up Horsham reaction. Tracy, the women are back in action this afternoon at Oakwell. Has there been any new signings since we last spoke? Because I know last time they went and signed a few players as well.
We did have 3 new signings that didn't play because last Sunday after we did the reaction show from Fleetwood, I then got a text message from Jess, the manager, to say that their game had been postponed. So at waterlogged pitch at South Shield, so they didn't play. But yeah, I've seen Jess a couple of times this week and a couple of other players, and they're pretty positive. They've been a high intensity week. You've definitely got match of the day on, Andy, I think.
I have. I've tried to tell you, we're going to get up and switch it off, and Josh says can't hear it. You can hear cheering in the background. It's not the cats cheering.
You can hear it, Andy. You can hear it.
You can now.
I've got it on mute and I'm watching it and still listening to it. Sorry, Tracy.
All right.
How can cats turn the telly on? How does that happen?
Anyway, so yeah, they've had a really high intensity week, really positive, good vibe in the squad. So yeah, they're looking forward to it. The opportunity of playing Hopewell again is great. Puts a bit of pressure, added pressure on. It brings the nerves out. And they've, like I said last week, they have received a bit of negativity linked to the Friday night game, which is irrelevant because it had nothing to do with that. But that's how it is. But yeah, they're the Spennymoor, who they're playing, are actually playing really well. The second in the league. They've played 6, won 5, and lost 1. So they're flying. Barnsley have played 5, won 3, lost 2. So, but last game out they did win. So it's going to be tough. Which again is interesting. The 2 teams that they're playing against that well are the seemingly stronger side. So it's not going to be an easy game. But I think the last words that a couple of players said to me last night were, we've got potential. We just need to show up and do it. If we can show up and do it, we can beat them. We can beat anyone in the league. So yeah, but the three new signings who I did get some of the names, but only the first names. I'm not going to mention them because what's point in giving me the first are all in the squad. So hopefully they'll get some debuts in there today. But yeah, 3 o'clock at Hopewell. If you've got nothing else to do today, get down there and support the ladies. They'd really, really appreciate it.
Well, we're going down, Tracy. My granddaughter, Grace, she wants to go. So me, Grace, and Noah are all going to try and to cheer them on and do our bit. Can't say I'll be an expert on it, but I'll be watching Noah this morning, watching them this afternoon, watching Horsham, not us, Horsham on Friday night. It's all football. I need to lie down. I think
what weekends are for. It's what weekends are for.
Anyway, Andy, will the lardy lads have a shirts for replay?
Well, I think for the show, for the replay, we should wear them, Al. We should me and you should put them on.
For the preview show, definitely for the preview show.
Yeah, not half. GR lot up. Well, obviously, if we wore the Horsham shirts that are coming out, we'll upset some of our fans. That's for sure if we wear them. But that's life, isn't it? If it
when you're honouring laddies, you've got to do it, ain't
you? Yeah. We'll see. No point in having them if we're not going to put them on, Al. I'm going to follow them. I'm going to follow them from now because I think they deserve following. Our second team, Al, now.
They've won the hearts, I think, of a lot of Barnsley fans with the way that they've conducted themselves, the unlook, the shame about the Friday night fixture, the way that Dom and Mark spoke with you two on the away end, home end, away end. They were, I think they've definitely won the hearts of a lot of, and it's one of them where you obviously don't want to lose, but, I'd much rather, in theory, lose to Horsham than like Wigan. So, yeah, that'll upset a few. I've got it on me today. I'm upsetting people right and centre, Andy. I'm sorry. It's just off. Yeah. I'll just need to mention Bolton and then I'll just go.
Just upset the whole. Go on, go through them. Upset the whole of Lancashire. Go on, Stockport, Oldham, United. Upset them all.
That's not fair. When Jonathan, his son, lives in back order.
Rochdale,
that's not fair.
Upset them all.
Anyway, I'll get back to it. Up the Horsham.
Just remember this: Josh lives in Manchester. He's got to go. He's got to go out and about. It's him that you're setting up.
No, don't worry about it.
Did I see you at Old Trafford the other night as well? What it?
I was in the Stretford end.
Watch
United get beat 3-0 by Newcastle. Which
was that a scouting mission?
Definitely not. Definitely not. There's not one player I've taken from that game from a Man United perspective. Andy, I'm assuming that prediction-wise, sparse at best.
I could do sparse. Well, as you can imagine, there were I've written it down, but I know it anyway. There were 69 predictions for this game. 69 predictions, which were good. Which was good. And well, I bet we don't get the same for predictions for the second, for replay. 63 of those 69 were for a Barnsley win. 2 were for a Horsham win. Well done. 4 were for a draw. It was nobody thought 3-3. There were a few people. Nearest, Tim Durkin. He said it were going to be. He thought it'd be 2-2. So well done, Tim. So he gets his 1 point. Ian Jackson, who we talked to before the match, Al, he said 1-1. So well done to him. Our very own sponsor Wayne Brown said 1-1. So thank you for that. You get a point in all. And Mark Wells, their historian, program creator, Mr. Horsham in many ways. He said on the programme 1-1 as well. So well done to Mark. You called it out right. What I would like to say, Josh, is on the away end, home end, every end show, Smithy, that turncoat Smithy said it would be 1-1. Now, I don't want people thinking, well, why aren't you mentioned Alan Smith? Because he said 1-1. For anybody that thinks Alan Smith said 1-1, look at the comments when you uploaded it, Josh, because the turncoat in front of Mark and Dom, he's saying, 1-1, I think you're going to do all right. 1-1. He changed it to 4-1 to Barnsley in the comments. So in front of him, it's 1-1. Oh, and we all, lads, it's 1-1. You'll do well. To 4-1 to Barnsley. So Smithy gets nothing.
Can I say something, Mr.
You'll
Simcox?
say what you want, Alan.
4-1 with 5 goals. I knew it was going to go goal fest. It was a goal fest.
And that's where you're going with it, Al, are you? And that's where you're going with it.
Alan, your shirt will be on diversion.
That's out of order. That is out of order.
Yeah, diversion.
That's getting
so.
Is that our new signing for ladies? Diversion.
Maybe I don't know the second names. Could be.
So Smithy's excuse is that he predicted 5 goals when 6 were scored. He predicted 5 goals. Well, one of our brethren said that we'd win 20-0. You couldn't be more wrong, Ricky, could you? You could not be more wrong. So there are a lot of 5-0s to Barnsley, 4-0s to Barnsley, 4-1, 4-2s. Loads and loads of them. Well, we've got egg on our face. We looked daft. So I expect the predictions to be very, very different for the replay, but we'll see.
Definitely.
We'll see. You know, we might have Smithy again saying Horsham will win 6-0 and then putting comments, Barnsley are going to win 9-0. You watch. I'm going to watch carefully what Smithy puts. Turncoat is a turncoat.
They'll keep changing it, isn't it? Right, I think that just about wraps it up then, doesn't it? We'll be back midweek with our preview show, and make sure to like, subscribe, and comment down below. Tell us your thoughts on the Horsham game. And if you want to be super, super early, you can get your prediction for the weekend's game as well.
Josh, we're also hoping, because Tracy's organised it, we're also hoping to do an away end with me and Smithy with a couple of Derby fans.
Mm-hmm.
So that'll be explosive. No, that'll be good.
Is that Wayne Rooney and his brother?
Oh, he's Birmingham now, isn't he?
He's Birmingham manager.
Well, he's still a Derby fan, isn't he?
You say that to him, Alan. See what happens.
Derby, Alan. Anyone else you want to upset? You know, I've started and now you've carried on.
Oh, you've passed the baton, Tracy.
If we go back a short while, just remember this, Tracy. Although I edit it out, Josh thought that Steve Cottrell was still manager of Fleetwood. Let's not forget that, Josh. And you watch.
That's not.
He'll
that's
cut
not
this
true.
out and all.
I thought you were Shrewsbury manager, not
Shrewsbury
Fleetwood.
manager.
There you go.
So that's gone well for you there, Andy. Superb delivery.
We're all rubbish, Josh. It's only Tracy. Come on, cock it up, Tracy. We're all rubbish.
Subscribers and followers. What do we know?
And I'm just antagonistic this morning, so there we go.
Someone's going to work out how many divisions Horsham are below us as well, because I don't know. Are there 5 or more?
I thought 5, but
I didn't know.
It's 5 to 7. Well,
you're trying to catch me out here, Josh, are you?
I didn't know I didn't know where Evo sits within that as well.
Evo sticks.
Yeah, I didn't know where that sits within the pyramid, so I was unsure on it because I knew there's obviously League 2, Conference North South, and then from that below, I didn't know where it's at. Anywho,
apologies.
Yes, we'll be back. We'll be back midweek with a Derby preview show. And yeah, make sure to like, subscribe, comment, get your comments in below of how you thought we played against Horsham as well. And yeah, we'll see you later. You Reds.